Today I am going to show you the effect called Flo Motion. And as I'm going to show you many different aspects of this effect, let's just get started. So what I have prepared here is simply a solid on which I have applied a grid, just that you can see what the effect is actually doing. So you can find the Flo Motion effect under Effects, Distort, CC Flo Motion, or you just go to the Effects and Presets and type in Flo Motion. And there we have it, and we just drag it out there. And as you can see, by default, the effect does nothing. So let's take a look what we have here. We have two nut points, point 1 and point 2, and each of those points has an amount. When we now bring this value up, you can directly see that the grid gets sucked into this nut point. And the same with the amount 2. And you can see that the grid is directly distorted a lot. You can see that we have those finer controls here, and if we just turn them on, you can see that we now really have finer controls for the whole effect. And as you see, when we distort the grid a lot, you see that the edges simply get mirrored if it's too much. And there we have this tile edges function. If we just turn this one off, you see that now the edges don't get mirrored and the whole frame gets sucked in. Okay, the next point which we have in this effect is the anti-aliasing. We have low, medium and high, and this is just something which you need when you distort your image really hard, like here, and you really have so many details that you really can't see anything. Then you can really check which options fit best for your project. Last, what we have for the effect is the fall off value, and this is something like the radius on which the Flo Motion effect is applied. So let me just type in a small value like 0.2, and now you see that the whole effect just takes part at the area which is really surrounding the nut point. In comparison to if we really bring it up to 1.5 or so, you can see that now really the whole frame gets distorted by the effect. Okay, now I am already going to show you a quick tip, a final step which I sometimes do use for some of my animations, especially for text animations, because I think they just give them the final touch. So let's just quickly reset this. And what I normally do, if I have a text or a logo or something with a nice background, let me bring out a logo. This is our logo for now. Then I simply go to the effect and pick whip the nut point to the position of the logo. And to do that, we hold down the Alt key and click on the nut point stopwatch. And now we have this pick whip here, and we bring it to the position of the logo. And that's it. And now let's just bring the amount up just a bit, and we bring the fall off out a bit so that it's at least as big as the logo itself, the fall off. So, and now if we move the logo around, the whole background interacts with the logo. So as I mentioned, this is something that I sometimes do if I have a nice background and an animation where some text coming in and out. Then I just really slightly animate the amount of the nut point, and it just gives it a nicer look, I guess. The next thing I want to show you is the animation of a background, which you can easily do with the Flo Motion effect. So I bring out some background. This is just a 4 color gradient applied to a solid. If you type in here for color, yeah, you have it. And now we once again apply the Flo Motion effect to it. And if I now turn up the amount, you can directly see which look we are after. And don't forget, all of those nut points and everything is keyframeable, so you can make some nice background animations. So, but you can not just animate or create a nice background, you can make a whole animation out of this effect. And when I started preparing for this tutorial, the first thing that came to my mind was something gets sucked in, and so I just came up with this one. Those two nice persons, where this person here is sucking me in here. So as I click on the Flo Motion effect, you can see that I have my nut point here and I have animated the amount. So as we scrub through here, you can see that I get sucked in here. And as I'm completely sucked in, I made it the other way around and typed in negative values for the amount and animated the nut point so that it looks like I get sucked through the pipe. And that's what it looks like. But you can also do some animations which are not that obvious with this effect. So what I have here is a still frame of a body and a heart, and I have just duplicated the layer and separated the heart from the body by simply using a mask. You can see here, here's the heart, here's the body. And I have once again applied the Flo Motion effect. I have, as you can see, both of the nut points in the middle of the heart, and I have animated the amount. And this is what this looks like. Okay, now after I've showed you a quick tip on a text animation, a background, and some animation techniques with the Flo Motion effect, it's time to create some foreground elements. And this is a cool thing which I developed while planning this tutorial. It's a technique to quickly create some elements and to make them randomizable in a really fast way. So I'm now going to show you the fastest way possible building a randomizable flower in After Effects. So let's get started. What I have here is simply a solid. I just shrinked it a bit so that you can see it better on the black background. And I have applied the Flo Motion effect to it, and I have sucked it into the middle. Then I have applied another Flo Motion effect and bended it outwards, as you can see here. And as a third effect, I have applied the ramp effect just to get a bit color into it. Then I have pre-composed all of this, duplicated it once again, and changed the blending mode to screen. And I have pre-composed this once again and duplicated it also once again. And as you can see, you have in less than 20 seconds a nice looking flower for your project. And if you think now, I want to have more flowers, different looking flowers, I need a bunch of flowers for my next project, let me quickly show you how you can randomize those flowers in a really fast way, also with the Flo Motion effect. So what I have here, I have already applied the Flo Motion effect to both of those flowers. And if I now click on it, you can see that I have it nearly at the center. And if I now just play with the amount, you can see that you directly get different looking flowers out of it. And as I have two of them, it's also more individual, so you can make a bunch of different looking flowers. Okay, and if you now still don't have enough of the Flo Motion effect, I can tell you that there is a lot more, but I simply don't have the time to get into a few more advanced examples. But if you want to learn more about this effect, you can visit my own site www.flomotion.eu. And by the way, it's really just coincidence. It's not all about the Flo Motion effect, this page. It's a page all around After Effects. And over there I have another cool and interesting tutorial on how to create a realistic looking firework with the Flo Motion effect. So if you want to learn how I did that, or if you want to watch a few more of my other After Effects tutorials or behind the scenes videos, or if you just want to get inspired by my work, then just come visit me on flomotion.eu. Now, I just have to say thank you for taking your time and listening to me, and I hope that at least some of you use the Flo Motion effect in projects in the future. And if you have any questions, just feel free to write to me or leave me a comment. And now just open up your After Effects, get the Flo Motion effect and start experimenting.